If you love learning bridge strategy through real game stories, hit subscribe. You won't want to miss what's coming next.
Today, we're going to decode a secret language, a completely silent conversation that allows two partners to know every single important card in each other's hands without ever speaking a single word.
So, picture this. We're at the Bridge and Biscotti Club. It's a tense Sunday afternoon. The air is thick with the smell of espresso, and two teams are locked in a serious battle of wits. And, well, secret codes.
So, let's meet our players. On one side, you've got Robert, a seasoned player, and his enthusiastic partner, Tom. And on the other side, we have the focus of our explainer today, the experts, Michael, a bridge teacher, and his longtime partner, Alice. Now, Michael and Alice have just been dealt an absolute powerhouse of a hand. But its incredible strength is also its biggest challenge. This hand is going to push their expert bidding system and their partnership right to the very edge. Okay, let's take a look at what they're holding. In bridge, your top cards, aces, kings, and so on, are worth points. Between the two of them, Alice and Michael have 28 points, and let me tell you, that is a ton. It's way more than enough to try for a slam, which means winning 12 out of 13 tricks. But, you know, raw power isn't everything. They can only pull this off if their cards fit together absolutely perfectly, like a key sliding into a lock. And here's the catch, right? They can't see each other's cards. So what's the solution? Well, it's a special, coded language designed to find out exactly what the other person is holding, almost down to the very last card. This highly advanced system is called relay bidding. Basically, it turns the whole bidding process from a game of hunches and guesswork into a super precise question and answer session. The whole point is to remove almost all of the uncertainty from the game. So, let's just start with this question. Is there a secret language in Championship Bridge? The answer is a huge, resounding yes. And it's called a relay system. It's this method of communication that's so incredibly precise, it honestly feels like a private code between partners. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with why this precision is so alluring in the first place. Then we'll weigh the benefits against the burdens, look at how to avoid the most common partnership disasters, cover the official rules you need to know, and wrap it all up with a real, concrete learning plan to get you started.
Okay, first up, the allure of precision. We're talking about unlocking a level of communication that most players can only dream of.
So what is it exactly? Well, at its core, relay bidding is a system where one player becomes the captain of the auction. They use the cheapest possible bids just one step at a time to ask their partner a whole series of questions. And the partner's answers? They paint a super detailed picture of their hand's exact shape and high card controls. It's basically a structured Q&A session to find the absolute perfect contract. You know, all bidding in bridge is basically a coded language, right? But relay systems? Whoa, they take that idea to a completely new level. Think of them as the most advanced, most precise dialects of this language, built to exchange huge amounts of information with, like, surgical precision. Okay, so what is a relay exactly? Well, it's an artificial bid, which basically means it's not what it looks like. Instead, you should think of it as a question. The captain makes the cheapest possible bid available, and that one little bid is a trigger. It's a coded question asking the describer for the next specific piece of info about their hand. And here's the key. The information only flows in one direction. It's not a back-and-forth chat. The captain is in charge. They direct the whole conversation, asking question after question to build this perfect mental blueprint of the describer's hand. And the describer? They never volunteer info. They just give the coded answer to wherever specific question they were asked. That's it. Okay, so how does this whole structured interview actually build a complete picture from just a few coded bids? Well, it's a super methodical, layered process that happens in 4 distinct stages. The captain is smart about it. They don't just ask about everything at once. Nope. First, they start with the big picture. What's the overall shape of the hand? Once they've got that down, they scan for what are called controls. Those are the key defensive cards, like aces. Then they get even more specific, pinpointing honors like kings and queens. And only after building this entire picture, layer by layer, do they finally decide on the final contract, which is the ultimate goal. Now, you might be thinking this is all one big system, but it's not. Just like any language, this secret code has different dialects. They can range from really simple phrases that a lot of people know, all the way to these full, incredibly complex systems that only the most dedicated experts ever learn. And hey, a lot of bridge players, maybe even you, already use the simple versions of these. Conventions like stamen, You know, the one that asks about major suits, or Blackwood, which asks how many aces you have. Those are basically simple, one-off questions. A full relay system, though, that's a whole different beast. It's a complete language that can describe an entire hand top to bottom with absolutely stunning detail.
And of course, these incredible systems didn't just appear out of nowhere. They were built by some truly brilliant minds. We're talking about people like Nick Hughes, who really pioneered that modern, layered structure we just talked about. Or Eric Kokish, who designed a special relay just for digging into really, really strong hands. And then you have Karen McCallum and Kit Woolsey, who refined the language even more with all sorts of clever shortcuts.
So you hear all this, and you got to be thinking, wow, that sounds like a ton of work. What's the payoff? And what could go wrong? This is where we have to look at the incredible power of these systems versus their very real challenges.
Oh, the power is absolutely massive. I mean, we're talking about unmatched precision here. This level of detail lets partnerships find these huge, high-scoring slam contracts, where you have to win 12 or even all 13 tricks that other pairs would just completely miss. They basically have a perfect picture of their combined cards before they ever commit, and that is a gigantic competitive advantage.
But, and this is a big but, that power comes at a really steep price. The amount of memorization you need is immense, and both partners have to have perfect, incredibly well-practiced agreements. Plus, if your opponents jump in and bid, they can jam your signals. And worst of all, one single misunderstanding, one wrong-coded answer can send the entire auction completely off the rails, and that usually ends in disaster.
Which really makes you wonder, doesn't it? When you're using a system this precise, are you even playing a game of cards anymore, based on hunches and guesswork? Or have you turned it into something else, a game of pure information, where the winner is just the person with the better, more perfect code? Definitely something to think about.
You know, the best analogy for a relay system is a high-precision surgical tool. In the hands of a trained expert, it can perform miracles, right? Finding these amazing slams that nobody else would even consider. But in the hands of someone without that proper training and practice, it can lead to an absolute disaster on the board.
Which leads us directly to the central question: benefits versus burdens. Is all that incredible power really worth the steep price of admission?
Okay, let's break it down. On the one hand, the benefits are huge. We're talking pinpoint accuracy for finding those tricky slams, using every single bid to its maximum efficiency, and having really clear decision-making. But, and this is a big but, the burdens are just as serious. There's a massive memory load, the whole system is incredibly brittle, one tiny mistake can blow it up, and it's super vulnerable when your opponents decide to get in the way. So you see, it's a very serious trade-off.
So after hearing about that high memory load and how brittle these things are, you're probably asking yourself, what could possibly go wrong? Oh, a lot. A whole lot can go wrong.
Which is why we need to talk about navigating those common pitfalls. Think of this as your guide to avoiding the absolute worst partnership disasters that can happen when you're trying to use relays. Here are 4 of the biggest traps people fall into. First, partners get confused between a simple asking bid, like Stayman, and a full-blown relay sequence. The fix? You have to define your terms. Know exactly when you're starting a relay. Second, they have no plan for when an opponent jumps in. You absolutely must have clear fallback rules for when you get interfered with. Third, they try to memorize sequences for every bizarre once-in-a-lifetime hand pattern. Don't do it. Just apply the 80-20 rule. Master the most common stuff first. And finally, ignoring tempo. Long pauses can give away information illegally, so you and your partner have to agree on a consistent rhythm.
Of course, you can't just show up to a tournament and start firing off these strange bids. That brings us to the official rulebook and how to make sure you're playing by the book.
Okay, so the rules make a really key distinction here. Simpler conventions, things like Stayman or Blackwood, are pretty much allowed everywhere. But these full, complex relay systems, with names like symmetric or TOSR, they might get classified as a highly unusual method, or HUM for short. And that means they could be restricted in certain events. The big takeaway here? Always check the tournament conditions before you play.
And proper disclosure is completely non-negotiable. This right here is a real example of what a summary might look like on a convention card. Yeah, it looks like a dense, coded message, but it's absolutely essential for telling your opponents what your artificial bids actually mean. Transparency is everything.
So before any tournament, you've got to run through this checklist. Is your card totally up to date? Do you have that one-page summary ready to hand to your opponents? Have you and your partner recently reviewed your plan for interference? And, most importantly, have you actually practiced this thing in the last month? If you answered no to any of these, you might be heading for a very bad day.
Okay, so you've heard the good, the bad, and the ugly, and you still want to do it. Fantastic. This last section is for you, your relay learning plan. This is a clear path to get you from just being curious to actually being competent. Now, this is not something you can just wing. It requires a really structured three-phase approach. Phase 1, you just memorize the core, the top 15 or 20 most common sequences. That's it. Then you move to Phase 2, which is safe practice. Get on a site like Bridgebase Online and just drill uncontested hands and log every single mistake. Only then, once you've done that, do you move to Phase 3, testing it out under the pressure of a real match and then doing a serious post-game analysis with your partner.
And the good news is, you don't have to do this in a vacuum. There's some fantastic tools out there to help. You can use digital flashcards to help with memorization. Keep a one-page cheat sheet handy for quick reference while you're practicing, and make sure you have your whole system documented. Even just looking at how an expert pair fills out their convention card can be a huge help.
Seriously, you do not have to jump into a full-blown, massively complex relay system all at once. Think about adding just a single useful gadget like the Kokesh relay to your current system. It's a fantastic way to dip your toes into the world of precision bidding without, completely drowning in complexity.
Okay, so theory time is over. Let's head back to the Bridge and Biscotti Club and see how this actually plays out in the real world. In any relay system, the partners have very clear roles. Because Alice has the stronger hand, she becomes the captain. Think of her as the detective leading the investigation. Michael, on the other hand, has the servant hand. His job is to be the describer, and all he has to do is give clear, coded answers to the captain's questions.
All right, let's dive into the auction itself. The coded conversation is about to begin, and you'll want to pay close attention because from here on out, pretty much nothing is what it seems.
So Alice, our captain, kicks things off with a bid of 1 club. But wait a minute. If you look at her hand, she's only holding one single, lonely club. So what on earth is going on here?
Well, as you might have guessed, this bid has absolutely nothing to do with a club suit. It's a totally artificial signal. It's the first piece of the code. This is the first secret signal. That 1 club bid sends a crystal clear message to Michael. It's basically saying, hey partner, I've got a monster hand over here, 16 plus points. Get ready to describe everything you've got. The interrogation starts right now. Michael's response is 1 heart. And, at a glance, that seems normal enough. He's holding 3 hearts. But, just like Alice's bid, this one is hiding a secret of its own. This one little bit is actually a whole package of information. First, it tells Alice he's got a pretty good hand himself, 8 or more points. But here's the really clever part. It's not actually about hearts. In their system, this specific response tells Alice that he holds at least 4 cards in the spade suit. The coded description has already begun.
Alice gets the message, loud and clear. So her next bid is 1 spade. And this is the pivot point. This is where the real interrogation begins.
Now, she's not suggesting they play in spades. This bid is the official relay trigger. It's like she's flipping a switch. She's now issuing her first direct command. Okay, Michael, time to talk. Describe the exact shape of your hand. Tell me how your cards are distributed, suit by suit. And Michael does exactly that. Through this series of super precise coded responses, he paints a complete picture of his hand's layout. Each bid is an answer to a specific question from Alice. And after just a few bids, she knows his hand shape perfectly. 4 spades, 3 hearts, 1 diamond, and 5 clubs. Just like that. So now Alice knows the exact shape of Michael's hand. But that's not enough. She needs more detail. She moves on to the most critical questions of all. Where are your high cards? Where are your aces, your kings, and your queens? So she starts a new phase of this conversation called denial cue bidding. Honestly, the best way to think of this is like a rapid-fire scan for every single specific high card that Michael might be holding. And this exchange, right here, just shows you the incredible power of the system. In this super quick sequence of bids, Michael tells her where every key card is. Alice asks about aces, and his response is a code that means, I've got 2. She asks about kings, he replies, I have 0. And this process just keeps going for queens and jacks until every important card is completely accounted for. It is just astonishingly efficient.
And so this is the final picture. Without ever laying eyes on his cards, Alice has built a perfect mental blueprint of Michael's entire hand. She knows its shape, she knows its point count, and she knows the location of every single important card he holds.
So, what does this superstructured secret language really tell us about what it takes to play bridge at the expert level?
Well, it shows that success at this level isn't just about intuition or gut feelings. It really becomes a game of information processing. It's all about flawless, precise, and pre-agreed upon communication. You could even say it's a game of pure logic.
You know, with a system this precise, the captain, Alice in this case, isn't just hoping her partner has the right cards to make a slam. No way. She knows. She knows with almost mathematical certainty whether they can make it or not. The guesswork has been totally and completely engineered out of the process.
Subscribe our channel for more videos.